So in this episode of Book of the Beast, we're going to be going over formations part 3, and we're going to start with formations in Sanctus Reach the Red Wa. So the first one in here is the Gorkanaut Crushing Crew. So your formation is 3 Gorkanauts, no restrictions, escalating rivalry at the start of each game turn, look up the current game turn, and number of the following table. Each models in this formation gain the special rules listed in this table. Turn 1, none. Turn 2, Furious Charge. Furious Charge on a model with already has a strength 10 close combat weapon. Number 3, Furious Charge and Hatred. Hatred's kind of cool. And turn 4 plus Furious Charge, Hatred, and Shred. Again, you're already strength 10, so Shred is of limited use. So, I don't see any purpose in the formation. It does not impress me. Those special rules that they gain don't help very much when you already got a strength 10 AP1 or AP2 close combat weapon. This is a formation. I don't know why it's even in here. This is horrible. Unless you just simply want to take 3 Gorkanauts without using any of your heavy support slots. That'd be the only reason, but I don't know why anyone would want to take 3 Gorkanauts. And the only other formation here in the Sanctus Reach is Malgroth's Boss Boys. And this one is an awesome formation. So the formation is 3 Big Mechs, 1 War Boss, and 1 level 2 Weird Boy. Special rules: Big Mech Malgroth. The controlling player must nominate 1 Big Mech in this formation to be his Warlord. Malgroth always has the Cunning but Brutal Warlord trait. Very cunning. Before deployment, the controlling player can nominate up to D3 friendly Orc units. These units can gain the Acute Senses and Outflank special rules. The controlling player also adds +1 to any attempts to seize the initiative. So those are 2. So the Very Cunning is an amazing bonus that you get because that allows you, because Outflank is really a great way to control your, to use your, let's say, Grot units. I love I've run this a lot. I love outflanking my Grot units. And having the Big Mech as the Warlord frees up the War Boss in the formation to be a little more aggressive on, say, on challenge and stuff without having to worry about giving up kill the Warlord or slay the Warlord. So that's a really great benefit for forcing one of the Big Mechs to be the Warlord. And of course you can give the Big Mechs any equipment they want. They take equipment from the normal Codex instead of the Great Wa, or Wa Gazgul, I mean. So they can have, you can use the Lucky Stick on the War Boss, normal KFFs, all that kind of fun stuff. Basically when I've run this thing, I've run this with the Bully Boys. So you get 3 Big Mechs in Mega Armor with KFFs, a War Boss in Mega Armor with the Lucky Stick. You put those in, one of those in each of the battle wagons with the Bully Boys. Now each battle wagon is a 5-up invul save, and basically what is essentially a second or 6th Mega Knob as far as stats go. And a custom Mega Blaster. When you put a Big Mech in Mega Armor, it comes with a custom Mega Blaster. And the Weird Boy level 2, I just always use it for summoning, just like every Weird Boy. So this is a really great formation that really complements a lot of other stuff you can do. So you can take this formation, because this guy, since he has to be your Warlord, you can take another Combined Arms detachment and use those 2 or 3 slots, or an Orc Horde, and use those 3 slots for just Pain Boys. So you can take this formation, and then you take Orc Horde with 3 Pain Boys, 3 units of Boys, or 2 units of Boys and a unit of Grots, or 1 or 2 units of Grots that can then gain the outflank from the Warlord trait, and then whatever you want to fill it out. So this is basically just a bunch of free HQ models that don't take up any slots in whatever formation or detachment that you're running. So that's really, really fun to use that way. And it's just, I mean, there's a lot of utility here. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to this part 2 of the Sanctus Reach, Hour of the Wolf. So this is the first formation here in Hour of the Wolf, Grux Goth Kill Mob. So this is basically going to be your army. There's a lot of stuff here. So you got Gruk Face Ripper, so this has to be the special character from the Sanctus Reach box. Scrag Skull Knobs, which is a unit of 5 knobs with very specific equipment loadout. Again, these are the knobs. This is in the Sanctus Reach book. It's the Sanctus Reach Stormclaw little instruction book. 3 units of boys, 1 Gorkanaut, 2 Death Dreads, and 1 unit Killicans of at least, let's see, All units of boys must have at least 20 models, and equipped with slug and choppas, and the unit kill cans must have at least 3 models. Special rules: fear. So every unit in this formation causes fear. It isn't always a big deal, but it can really make a difference. And Grux kill boys, Scrack skull knobs, and all units of boys in this formation can re-roll the charge distances. So it's so it's basically fleet. So you can either use Eerie Go to re-roll 1 die, or you can use the Grux kill boy rule to re-roll both dice. So this is pretty close to a whole army in and of itself, just in this one formation. Because 3 units of boys, walkers. This is a Goth army, and this is a really good formation for just pretty much just building a whole unit. Most of this stuff, of course, comes in the Sanctus Reach box, the knobs, the Face Ripper, and the Killicans. All come in that box. So if you buy that, so this is a good build up to building this formation. And fear is not a bad benefit, and neither is the Grux Killboys rule. And Gruk himself is actually pretty darn good. I suppose I should do a status late on Gruk Face Ripper. I'll have to do that. Skyboss Wingnuts Air Armada. So what does this have? 3 Daka Jets, 1 Burna Bomber, and 1 Blitza Bomber. So that's a lot of points invested into the Air Armada. No doubt about that. You're going to be putting some points into this. 1 Daka Jet must take a fly boss, which is, of course, Skyboss Wingnuts himself. Airborne Horde. Whenever a flyer from this formation leaves combat airspace, it returns to play with its full complement of hull points and with its starting quota of 1-use-only weapons. That is absolutely freaking amazing. So basically what that means is that you'll probably want to take this unit formation with an Aegis and a comms relay to make sure you get that plus or the re-roll on the reserve rolls, so you get these in turn 2. So they come in turn 2, they shoot, bottom of turn 2 or whatever. The next turn they get shot at, take some damage. The bombers drop off all their bombs. They fly off the table, come on next turn automatically from ongoing reserves, and do it all over again. This, again, it's not super competitive because the Orc Flyers are really super fragile, so there's a chance they may not make it. But if they don't kill them outright in 1 turn, they're just going to come back in full strength. So that basically makes the opponent choose to either concentrate on a single plane until it's dead, or ignore them completely. And since this is a lot of points, it is possible they might just ignore them completely, but that's not always going to be a viable plan, because these things can put out a lot of hurt, without a doubt. Blitza Bomber is something I've always wanted to try out. I'm just so worried about. Anyway, watch my Orc Flyers video to explain why I think that bombers are so not so bad, but the rules don't really help you with them much at all. The rules of the game really kind of go against being able to use bombers effectively, or at least Orc bombers. But this is a great formation to keep your planes alive, especially if you have 5 planes. This is great. I have 3 Daka Jets already. I've thought about building buying 1 more to build a magnetized bomber. Now I've got kind of incentive to build 2 bombers. I really want to try this thing out, because, of course, I wouldn't try this thing out in anything less than 2,000 points, because of the just sheer amount of points you're going to be putting into these planes. But this is that is an amazing rule for flyers to come back in with all their 1-use weapons and full hull points. So again, it forces your opponent to do an all or none on your flyers. You have to keep going at it until it's gone. And then you don't have to worry about jinking, because you're going to come on, you're going to drop your payload and do all your shooting, fly off, so you can jink the next turn without worrying, fly off, and then do it all over again. You don't have to worry about trying to stay on the board and to keep dropping bombs or whatever. So this is probably the best way you're ever going to run Orc Flyers, because this formation is just amazing. Captain Badrug's Flash Kits. Again, this is a box you can buy. You can actually buy this as a box with Captain Badrug, 2 units of Flash Kits. I think it comes with 4 actually. I think there's 20 in there. I'm not sure. And that box also comes with some special edition ammo runs. Let's see, all units of flash kits must have 10 models. So yeah, so I think that comes with 20 models in their box. Captain Broderick's flash kits. During deployment, the controlling unit can choose to form all units into a single formation, or all the units in this formation in a single unit. Broderick cannot leave this unit, and counts as 3 victory points. All SNAS guns carried by models in this formation have the Mastercrafted special rule. While that's cool, that is a lot of paperwork. That means you have to roll each model individually. It's going to take forever to shoot these guys. But other than that, that's the only downside to that. It's just the amount of time it takes. So having these guys Mastercrafted is awesome. Especially if they're already shooting a BS3, 3 shots each. That's really awesome. Of course, there's a lot of points because you're talking, 20 flash kits. Adds up pretty quick. But this is great. Having the Mastercrafted rule is really awesome. So if you're going to run flash kits, this is probably the way to do it. And that's all the formations we have here in Hour of the Wolf, which is just about perfect. So that really is all the formations that the orcs have available to them. Are the ones from Law Gazgul and the 2 Sanctus Reach books. Which is very disappointing. I mean, there are some formations in the Sanctus Reach little rule book, but they're just basically explaining the models. There's really nothing special about them. They're basically data slates from the models in the box. So they don't really count as formations. So that's where we're at with these formations. I mean, some of them are really good. Some of them are pointless. I guess that's okay. But none of them are really going to alter your army very much. Or it's not going to make it look different. It's still going to be the same. It's going to be an orc army. I mean, nothing in this formation really none of these formations really change how you're going to build or play your army. Which is kind of disappointing. Because I said, when you compare it to some of the formations that have come out since then, those things can really not only give you some really amazing benefits, but they really alter the look and feel of how you play your army, and none of these really do. So, while there are some really good competitive formations, none of them are really exciting. That's the word I want to put. There's competitive, but they're not really exciting. There are a couple that are a lot of fun, but nothing really exciting. So I'm really overall disappointed with the formations that are available to orcs. I have used some of them, and to great effect, especially the Bully Boys and Mongrok's Plus Boys. Those are my 2 favorites. But in general, they're officially meh. So that's it for this episode of Book of the Beast, and I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, so quick addendum here. There's actually one formation in the Sanctus Reach Stormclaw book, and it's basically a formation that allows you to play all the models that come in the box. But it actually is pretty cool. It gives you some extra rules. So you get the formation with Gruk Face Ripper, his Knobs, the Grots, and the Killicans. So the models that come in the Sanctus Reach box. But there's 2 really cool special rules where Gruk says goes. While Gruk Face Ripper is alive, all units in this formation reroll failed morale, pinning, fear, or cowardly Grots tests. That's pretty darn good, actually. And there's no range on that. It's just as long as he's alive, all models in this formation can reroll. And that's in addition to the mob rules, so that's really awesome. And teleported attack. All units in this formation have the Deep Strike special rule. If all the units in this formation start the game in Deep Strike Reserve, they will all automatically arrive from Reserve at the start of your first turn, and no Reserve rolls are necessary. Again, that is freaking awesome. I mean, this isn't a lot of points, so if you want to add this formation, so if you have the Sanctus Reach box, you can add this formation to your army, then take an Orc Horde or a Cat or whatever, and let's have all these guys just Deep Strike on the other side of the table. Sure, they may all die, but who cares? Really. That's not a lot of points here. And there's going to be, and if they're shooting at these guys on their turn, that means the rest of your army is getting over there unmolested. So this is actually a really awesome way to play the models that come in the Sanctus Reach books. So I'm sure a lot of people have that. A lot of people have these models, and they're really easy to get on eBay. So, well, of course, they're just the retail boxes, the discount. So, but yeah, this is another formation that's actually pretty darn good, and be a great complement to any other formation that you want to run. So that's it for this quick addendum. Thanks for watching.